An athlete too talented to ignore even at a very young age, and a case that took more than 10 years. Hi, welcome to Witness Investigations, and let's look into the case of Samuel Wanjiru, one of Kenya's most talented athletes. Happy New Year! Welcome back, and I hope you had a good holiday season. Today we're going to look into the case of Samuel Wanjiru, one of Kenya's most talented athletes. Samuel Kamau Wanjiru's journey started at Nyahururu in 1986. Coming from a poor background, Wanjiru's head was filled with dreams and goals, and during his short life, he was able to achieve so much. According to his mother and his coach, he was a very reserved, quiet, and obedient child. When he was a teenager, his talent set him apart from the rest. He was noticed by Robert Kioni, who was a coach who started training him at the young age of 12. After 2 years, he got a scholarship in Japan, and that's where he advanced in training and went to high school. In Japan, he excelled in cross-country, where he won the Fukuoka International Cross-Country Race in 2003 and Chiba International Cross-Country in 2004. In 2008, at the Beijing Olympics, he broke the record held by Carlos Lopez. He finished the marathon in 2 hours, 6 minutes and 32 seconds, giving Kenya the first gold medal at marathons. After he won the Grandala Half Marathon in 2009, he stated, and I quote, "In 5 years' time, I feel capable of clocking a sub 2 hours for the marathon." Sadly, this did not come into fruition, but Kipchoge managed to do so when he clocked 1 hour, 59 minutes and 40 seconds and proved no human is limited. Anyway, in the same year, Wanjiru won the London and Chicago marathons, which set him to join the greats like Catherine Dereba. After he won the Beijing Marathon, those close to Wanjiru noticed a change in him. He had a different personality and started drinking more and more. But to be fair, this is quite understandable once you think about it. Wanjiru became famous and rich at a very young age, and by the time he was 24, he was already a millionaire. That would have an effect on anyone's psyche. Wanjiru married his first wife Washera, but things did not work out well. He then married his second wife Teresia Njeri, and they were still together when Wanjiru died. Before we get into what happened on that day, I want to say that this is one case that does not have a clear answer. No matter how I looked at it, there were no clear theories, just questions. Things did not and still do not add up. On May 15, 2011, Wanjiru arrived home alone in his white vehicle. This is according to the night guard Stephen Kamau, who continued and told the court that Wanjiru got into the house, then later came out and asked them if they were paid their monthly salary. Then he went back to the house. A few minutes later, a vehicle arrived, and this time it was Wanjiru's wife Teresia and Wanjiru's friend Gatimo Ndirango. They stopped at the gate, then Teresia invited Gatimo to come in and greet her husband before he headed out. She then went to the restroom while Gatimo drove into the compound. Gatimo told Teresia that Wanjiru was already sleeping and there was no need to wake him up. He would come back the following morning. Minutes later, the night guard had arguments coming from the house. Then Teresia came downstairs talking on her cell phone. She then questioned him why he didn't warn her that Wanjiru had brought home another woman. The night guard was confused since, remember, he had not seen anyone else in Wanjiru's vehicle apart from Wanjiru. And this is one of the questions that goes unanswered because the woman Teresia found with Wanjiru, Jane Duta, where did she come from? Well, according to the police and Duta, Wanjiru had brought her home from a bar. She was the cause of the whole argument because when Teresia opened the bedroom door and found Duta lying next to Wanjiru, they started arguing and fighting. That was when Wanjiru woke up and then Teresia ran out and locked the bedroom door. She then climbed down the stairs and ran towards the gate. Wanjiru then appeared on the balcony, intoxicated at the time, and started yelling at her, telling her to open the door, but she told him she would not. He then turned to the guard and told him to get the spare keys where they kept them. When he was getting them, he heard a loud thud and saw Wanjiru on the ground. By that time, Teresia had already disappeared. Wanjiru was taken to the hospital and after a few hours, he was pronounced dead. The investigation started and the police did not do a good job securing the crime scene. And even the clothes Wanjiru and Duta wore on that night disappeared. Senior Superintendent Mr. Jacob Kaberi Kanake, one of the investigators, told the magistrate that it was difficult to know the cause of Wanjiru's fall since no one was there when he fell. He also stated that Wanjiru had injuries on his head and his body that could not be explained by the fall. He interrogated Nduta, Teresia and the security guard to know who had hit Wanjiru at the back of the head but did not get an answer. He also told the court that all the witnesses, Nduta, Teresia, and former OCPD Josephat Ombati, had different testimonies of what happened. There was also blood on the balcony that could not be explained. Wanjiru's mother claimed that her son was murdered. She also claimed that the police worked with Teresia to do this. She said when the police went for a gun, an AK-47 Wanjiru was accused of threatening his wife with, they also took a safe and never gave it back. And according to an interview she did on case file KTN, the safe contained millions of shillings. This was the motive of the murder, but again, these are just allegations. There are no evidence of this.
The mother now claims that when police came looking for an AK-47 assault rifle from the house, they left with more than just the gun.
Kuna safe ya Kamau ilibeba huko. Unajua hivyo? Hiyo safe ikapelekwa police station. Hiyo safe Kamau akaambiwa afungue hata iko na what do you call it? Kamau akaambiwa afungue hiyo safe. Atekatejua amefisha hii kitu ya bunduki inaitwa magazine. Kamau akasema hatafungua hiyo safe. Iko na Maria yake. Hiyo safe ikafunguliwa. Hizo pesa zilihesabiwa na bank. Kamau hakurudishiwa safe yake na hakurudishiwa kila kitu. Yaani safe yake ikurudi hapa kwa nyumba, hiyo pesa hakupewa.
The money she claims was millions of shillings. It is the reason why he was killed.
The inquest into the death in 2023 last year ruled out murder and suicide as the cause of death. It established that Teresia was not in the compound when Wanjiru fell, so she was not responsible for his death. It also established that Wanjiru could have slipped and fell after he was caught in an uncompromising situation trying to stop his wife.
Today ruled that the late marathoner Samuel Wanjiru did not commit suicide and neither did his wife Teresa push him to his death. Now the court established that Teresa, the wife of the late marathoner and main suspect, was not in the compound when Wanjiru fell. Now,
Samuel Kamau Wanjiru was a very talented young man with a bright future. It is so sad that his dreams never came into fruition and quite unfortunate that we did not witness more of his gift. May his soul rest in eternal peace and may we never forget Samuel Kamau Wanjiru and his great work. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Please subscribe, like and share.